Can you describe to our audience what it was you witnessed within the National Security Agency and whether you're comfortable
Ah,
being
yeah.
termed a whistleblower?
All right. Let me start with the latter. You don't wake up one day and say, I'm going to be, as I said in Europe recently, you don't grow up or aspire
Yeah.
as a career choice to become a whistleblower. I was eyewitness to the highest level decisions made up to and including the President of the United States, all done in secret. And the primary decision that I became aware of shortly after 9/11, verbal authorization, subsequently, I didn't know at the time, written, but certainly confirmed by the attorney in the general counsel's office general counsel, when I confronted him early October 2001, is that we're going to take the power of NSA and literally turn it on the United States of America as if it were a foreign nation for the purpose of dragnet electronic mass surveillance. And I knew that as I confronted those within the system, even at NSA initially, it didn't matter that it was violating the Constitution. It didn't matter that it was violating the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It didn't matter what had happened to the country. As I grew up as a very young teenager in the 1970s under the Nixon administration, and all the scandals and finding out that NSA was abusing its power and violating the Constitution then, in fact, across several decades within the United States, it didn't matter. This was a whole new era, and it was the ends justifies the means. And so if we have to violate the Constitution, remember the Constitution, not suicide pact, so be it, because national security takes primacy. It didn't matter what the laws were. I actually said, hey, if the law is not working, if the law is insufficient, we have a constitutional means procedure within this country in which you change law. And I was actually told if we do that, they'll say no. And that moment, I haven't often said it more recently, but you just triggered that part of that conversation, extraordinary conversation. It still continues to ring in my ears with that attorney. It was like, whoa. I mean, you're not going to go to Congress. It's right after 9/11. They probably would have literally written just about anything, right, to make it easier for the United States to deal with, quote unquote, this existential threat, especially since, the failure to keep people out of harm's way. And you're saying if we go to Congress, the very body that has to actually legislate, a law, basically in the form of a bill, right? You're saying if you do that, they'll say no? Whoa. I guess you're willing to admit that what you want to do does violate the Constitution, but you don't want that in public. You want to continue to do this in secret, and that's precisely what happened.